What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video where today we're going to continue the conversation about the secondary that we started yesterday. Of course, talking about cornerbacks yesterday. If you didn't watch that video, make sure to check that out after this one. But here, I want to talk about safeties and the remaining safety market and what the Colts might do. Now, an interesting thing that happened yesterday is that safety Mike Edwards, a guy that's been with the Chiefs for a little while, he ended up visiting the Colts just a couple days ago and looked like, hey, maybe Julian Blackmon's not coming back. Maybe Mike Edwards is about to get signed to the team. And then he goes and signs with the Bills. So an interesting thing there. Maybe that means Julian Blackmon is going to be a candidate to be able to come back. Or maybe we're going to roll with Nick Cross, or maybe we're going to roll, with Julian Blackmon and have Nick Cross at free safety. Who knows what the Colts are planning right now? But for now, I want to talk about the remaining safeties. And the safeties that we have to talk about here are going to be Jamal Adams, Justin Simmons, Eddie Jackson, Quandre Diggs, Micah Hyde, Tracy Walker, Marcus May, Jaron Curse is available. Terrell Edmonds is out there. Adrian Amos is out there. And then, of course, Julian Blackmon, who, again, very possible that he just comes back. But the interesting thing here is looking at these guys that are either strong safeties or free safeties. Which guy could they sign? And that kind of changes the dynamic of what we're looking at, right? Obviously, Nick Cross can play both safety positions, but came into the league as a free safety. And so when you look at it, like if they want to go strong safety in this free agency, then what we're looking at is going to be Jamal Adams. I don't know about you guys, but I don't really care to have Jamal Adams on the team at all. Micah Hyde is on that list, but as he's gotten older, he just can't stay on the field. So Micah Hyde, please no. Jaron Curse, again, another guy that getting older, he's good. But is he great? Is he what I want on the team to make the secondary as good as we need it to be? No, he's not. So then it comes down to Julian Blackmon, and that's why it seems likely that Julian Blackmon might end up back on the team, even if they want to have Nick Cross in the starting lineup, right? You play him at free safety, you bring back Julian Blackmon, have Julian Blackmon play a strong safety position, coming off easily the best year of his career. And I feel like at this point, it just makes sense. There's some other teams that are in need of some safety help that might go and get them. But Julian Blackmon did visit the Bills, and now they've signed Mike Edwards. So opens the door for Julian Blackmon to be able to come back to Indy. But if that doesn't happen and they want to have Nick Cross playing that strong safety position, then you look at the free safeties and the options get pretty good, right? That's where you have Justin Simmons, who would be great to bring into the building. A great veteran player, still really good, been playing really well for the Broncos for a long time. So bringing Justin Simmons in would be really good for that secondary. I also think Eddie Jackson is an interesting option, somebody that's been very good in the past, somebody that, his level of play over these last couple of years isn't really what it was when he was a bit younger. But a guy that's only 30 years old, still has plenty of good ball, right? He's not, top level safety anymore, but he's a good player, a lot of knowledge in the NFL. If that was the way they wanted to go, I think I'd be okay with it. But again, I'd rather have Justin Simmons, or I'd rather have Quandre Diggs, who's 31 years old, but still playing really well, been playing well for the Seahawks, played for the Lions before that, been one of the better safeties in the NFL for a really long time. So Quandre Diggs, if they wanted to bring him in, which it's been said that there's mutual interest between these sides, then I'd be completely fine with that. Give me Justin Simmons or Quandre Diggs, and I'll be happy with the safety position. Nick Cross being the strong safety. Now, obviously, there wouldn't be a whole lot of depth. You'd have Rodney Thomas as the depth for free safety, and then Daniel Scott coming back this year, wasn't able to play at all in his rookie season, but coming back this season, and there are some people that would be fine with him as a depth piece also. So if we were going to go into this year with Nick Cross, guy that's on his rookie contract, a really cheap rookie contract, and then you bring in one of these veteran safeties, and maybe you don't have to pay. I don't know what would be more worth it, right? I guess it depends what the contract looks like. If the contract is too much for Justin Simmons or Quandre Diggs, then it would make sense to bring back a guy like Julian Blackmon. But Julian Blackmon's younger, right? This is going to be the first time he's hitting in a new contract after his rookie contract. So you have to assume again with him coming off his best season, he's gonna want and gonna warrant more money. But also, this is a guy that can't stay on the field, so it makes this whole thing kind of complicated when you talk about the level of player he is. He's really good since it's rookie year. As long as he's been on the field, he's been able to be really good. But then you have the thing like he's not always able to stay on the field. Then you have the part where he's not really able to stay on the field all the time. So, this conversation can go back and forth. What's the number for Julian Blackmon going to be that really decides this conversation, right? Because ideally, if you can get one of these three players, right, you're getting a very talented player. But then if the Colts wanted to just get the cheapest of the bunch, then they could still have, extra money to spend in free agency. If they could restructure a contract, that could give them more money. There's still talented players in other areas and different holes that the Colts need to fill in some depth in other spots. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Again, the choices for me when it comes down to it right now, I'm looking at Justin Simmons, Quandre Diggs, and Julian Blackmon. I think an interesting part of this conversation is thinking about, well, what if they get Justin Simmons and Quandre Diggs, not both of them, but Justin Simmons or Quandre Diggs, while also bringing back Julian Blackmon. Then you have a veteran group starting in that safety position. And then I think that would be good too, right? What's the price for that? How much better does that really make us when you allocate that much money to a safety position? That's going to be the question. But if we're talking about trying to win right now, that's something that Chris Ballard and the front office could definitely think about doing, is bringing in Julian Blackmon plus one of those veteran safeties to play the free safety position. So we'll see what direction the Colts want to go. Of course, I want to know, what direction do you want to go? Who do you want the Colts to sign at safety? What do you think we should do? Should we sign somebody and draft somebody? Should we just sign a couple of guys? Is Julian Blackmon on your list of guys that needs to come back? You let me know any of that down in the comment section. Of course, make sure you're subscribed with notification on. We're going to continue to have videos, and then any news and updates, I'll let you guys know as soon as I possibly can. So again, have those notifications turned on. Of course, I appreciate you stopping by for another video. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.